Okay, fire signs, it's your time. It's your time. Welcome to Red Root Yoga and Mysticism. This is going to be, got a jumper. This is going to be your weekend love reading. We're going to start off with Aries, but I can't even get my words out because your cards are jumping, Aries. This is your weekend love reading. This is going to be for June 21st, 2026. But really, these readings are timeless, so whenever it finds you, it's meant to find you. Please like and subscribe if you're able to. We're a new channel. I'm going to be posting a few times a week and trying different things to see what people like. This is a weekend love reading, but we're going to play with format and content and see what resonates with folks. Your next card, Betrayal, Lilith's Reclamation. Okay, this is for Aries. I'm sorry, Aries, look, I'm trying to get through my intro as I'm shuffling, which is maybe something to think about doing differently next time. But Aries, you've had a couple of jumpers as I transition from the intro into your reading. But we're going to ask your angels, your archangels, your spirit guides, your loving ancestors to continue to bring forward a message of love for you this week or whenever this video may find you. Aries, we'll pull one more card for Aries. One more shuffle, please. What do we have for Aries? What do we have for Aries? Okay. Aries, your last card, Medusa, Celibacy. Okay, Aries, so in these readings, this first card is you. The second card is the card of the person you're in connection with. And the third card is the energy that's coming forward. Try to adjust this a little bit. Okay, so let's get started with your first card, Aries. So Ishtar, Revenge. This is a really interesting and I think a really powerful card. So I'm going to give you the very partial, probably not fully correct recapping of Ishtar. So Ishtar, if you look up this word, there's an ancient Mesopotamian goddess named Ishtar. Ishtar is associated with this myth of sort of going to the belly of the underworld to enact justice. You'll have to read more about the story. It's a little gruesome, but the sort of one of the essential parts about the story of Ishtar is that she has been through the darkest of darks, like dark night. She's gone through the deepest parts of, hell, the underworld. She's been there and she's found her way back. And she's seen as supremely powerful because of this. Part of her story has to do with enacting revenge as a form of justice because of what has happened in the story. I'm giving like a very broken depiction of Ishtar because I don't know the story as well as I should, but she represents this incredible force, and there's strong connotations with Venus, morning light versus evening, the morning star versus evening star, and the kind of combining of masculine and feminine energies, love and war and, and passion. These are all things associated with Ishtar. So Aries, as for your energy right now, what your guides are saying is that you have been through a lot, Aries. Let's take a beat to acknowledge that. And this isn't just like in the last few weeks or couple of months. What your guides are sharing is that you've been through a lot in your life. And there have been moments where you've had to really stand up for yourself and for other people. and develop a type of armor, a type of defense, a type of, even weaponry, not in like combat kind of way, but weaponry as in like you've had to learn ways to fight off particular energies or to keep those things and those people out of your life and out of the lives of the ones that you love, as a form of care, as a form of nurturing, as a form of protection. Like you have been, really, this is warrior spirit, right? Aries known for being the sign that strongly associated with sort of the nature of the warrior. Also Mars, right? That's been a big part of your experience. What's also coming to me from spirit is that song by Sade called Soldier of Love. I used to love this song. There was a period where I sang this song all the time, coming out of a really bad breakup when it first came out, and then years later just going through some really tough moments in life. That Soldier of Love song was really significant. So look up the lyrics to that Sade Soldier of Love song, but that sort of perfectly embodies this energy, Aries. You've been through the fire. And so you're at a point in your life now where you can look back and see that version of yourself as this person's looking in the mirror. Like you can still see the pieces of yourself that went through it, that witnessed it, that experienced it. But you were actively choosing to move beyond those experiences and to transform your dominant point of view and your dominant way of moving through life from that like spirit, that like warrior spirit, warrior energy, to an energy that is much softer, an energy that is much more keen to forgiveness, an energy that's much more interested in justice versus revenge. Justice being like, justice taking the form of peace versus revenge is what I should say. Like you're opting for that at this point in your life because you've done the other stuff, and the word righteous is like a really great way to explain some of this energy. It's like when someone embarks on like helping another person or even helping themselves or saving, quote unquote, saving someone, like being like rushing to the scene to help someone out. It's like it can be done out of a place of like righteous love, not self-righteousness, but like righteous love. Like it's wanting to see justice prevail. I think you've grown out of some of that energy, Aries, and now you are much more aligned with a different type of energetic resolution that really does care about peace, that really does care about surrendering and allowing for things to kind of shake out on their own without your intervention. I hope this makes sense. A big part of this is you realizing like you don't need to be the one expending so much energy in such like high force, high effort, high strung, difficult like energy. Like you don't have to be the one to do that. That instead you can take a much different position in your life and in the lives of those around you. And you can still keep your, stay true to your core self and hold that space, hold that ground of love without having to fight for it or defend it. There are so many other dimensions, sides of love that offer resources and tactics spiritual tactics and just bring about ease and peace, that don't make it so that it's all on you to fix things or find things out. So I hope this makes sense. This might be a message for only a handful of you, but it's really sort of, you coming into a point in time where you're just having a lighter touch in life, a softness. Not that you were harsh before, but it's about gifting to yourself much more ease and not taking on that burden of responsibility for other people. Okay, Aries, I'm going to move on to this, see if we can help clarify. So this is the energy of the person you're in connection with. Okay, so this maybe makes more sense here. As your guides are sharing, this is someone that you've been in connection with. This might have been someone that you've recently broken up with, but you could have broken up with this person like 6+ months ago. And there was a betrayal that occurred. It's interesting, these two cards, let's look at these two figures that show up in astrological myth. So we have the figure of Ishtar in this card, and Ishtar being associated with sort of the underworld and enacting justice and fighting for love, and really has a profound and powerful story in that archetype. Sort of a phoenix archetype in some ways. And then you have here Lilith being a disembodied astrological point that's also associated with the feminine, that also is associated with a level of darkness. So this could represent a connection between feminine energies. These readings aren't gendered. It's not meant to suggest male, female, or anything. But we're just talking about energy itself. But these are both feminine energies and archetypes that are kind of misunderstood, like in their context, respective context, they're sort of both misunderstood, or both kind of in some ways like othered or outcast. These are also both connected to Venus. Both of these figures exist in direct connection to Venus. Venus representing pleasure and grace and beauty and abundance and community and love and all of these beautiful, benevolent, like luscious experiences and qualities of life. So there's a lot of overlap here. So this is telling me that whatever this connection was really dynamic, probably very complex, probably very layered. And somewhere along the lines, there was a betrayal. And it could be that someone was hiding or kind of veiling, cloaking some of their truths. It could have been that someone was not being forthcoming, being a bit, sort of subverting or subordinating truth and honesty, dancing around the truth. But in either case, there was a break in trust that happened, or there was something that happened between the two of you that did pretty substantial damage to your core connection. And so Aries, instead of you falling back on old patterns or old ways of dealing with things, with this person, you really did manage this experience quite differently. Like, you kind of checked in with yourself. You're like, am I going to go there? No, I'm not. I'm going to choose my light. I'm going to choose the path of love and least resistance. And I'm going to much more at ease, much more, not delicate, but like I'm going to have much more finesse in a way with how I manage this emotional, spiritual finesse. And so this person, I think that pretty much sent this person into a whirlwind. And I don't think they are yet done with the connection. I think they're still, on their part, a feeling of unfinished business, or a wanting to, a desire to resolve things with you, or at least like be able to access you. Like this person is veiled. It feels like, you know, there's something that's still keeping them from you. And it might be, Aries, that you have created a boundary, that they can't quite access you. Like you won't open the door to them. You won't take their calls. So that's this energy of this person. The energy that's coming in now is this energy of Medusa and celibacy. Aries, listen, I didn't recognize this until I'm now getting to the third card. I know we acknowledged each of the cards when we pulled them. But Aries, I've never seen this before. I'm not laughing. This is like just hella powerful. You got Ishtar, you got Lilith, and you have Medusa. If these aren't like the most heavy-hitting, high-impact, like powerful, archetypical, astrological, and mythological figures, I don't know what is, but this is pretty powerful, Aries. So this energy of Medusa and celibacy, so Aries, this Medusa, so let's just briefly talk about the Medusa archetype. And again, I am not a folklorist, so you'll have to look further into the folklore and the myth around Medusa for the details. But Medusa is known for taking betrayal and transmuting that experience, that emotional harm, into something much more powerful, and that benefits her, that works in her favor. And so this starts to make a lot more sense. So the energy that is coming in, Aries, is you saying, hey, whatever has happened here in my past that I have decided on my own to move on from and to evolve from, handling things the way that I used to. Maybe the first or the biggest demonstration of my evolution in this way has been this recent relationship that ended. I did not handle this like I have in the past. I've been a lot more surrendering in my spiritual practice, and I have allowed for my loving, centered, energetic force to be the thing that drives me forward through processing these types of experiences. In other words, I'm not coming out guns blazing, like trying to avenge what happened to me. I'm not even trying to react to what this person did. I'm really evolving to feed myself on a soulful, on a spiritual level, because I deserve more. I deserve better. And the universe is saying that there's so much more and so much better available to me. So I'm continuing to prioritize myself and how I handle these situations and how I care for myself through whatever comes my way. And so this person was a first experience, an early experience, and sort of doing like a test trial, like seeing how this plays out. And Aries, you handled this so much differently. This energy that's coming in is further clarifying what it is that you've done. So part of what you've called into your experience are new practices. So you were saying, number one, my body and my heart are a temple and they're sacred. And so I'm not going to allow my body and my heart to be available to anyone, especially not those who have hurt me. And so you're holding yourself in that very high sacred regard. Medusa also is known for having, like, you know, the snakes, the serpents, right? That we associate with, like, her hair and that act on her behalf. And maybe they're like guardians. So Aries, you also what's happening in non-physical realms is that your guardians are there, and they're helping you with this energy. They're helping to fend off energies that are not for your highest good. And you're continuing to clarify and reconcile as people and experiences come into your path, like what you do and you don't want. You're continuing to exercise discernment and identify who is and isn't good for you. And so you have this tremendous spiritual apparatus that exists in the non-physical space that is working in your favor. And so this becomes really a coherent practice that you've cultivated, Aries. One that is so strong. I mean, again, Ishtar, Lilith, Medusa, of course, Aries, like you would call in the heavy hitters. I think it's a testament to just, one, how powerful you are in your own self, but also it's a demonstration of your commitment to the type of spiritual growth, evolution, transcendence, enlightenment that you're seeking. And so you'll continue to get these additional, like the unlocking of more gifts, the unlocking of more insight, the unlocking of more perspectives, the further you go on your journey, the deeper you go on your journey. So this is tremendous. Your guides are wanting to acknowledge that they see all that you do. And again, they recognize your strength and your grace. And you're on the right path, Aries. Or I should say, there's no right and wrong, but you're on the path of continuing to choose your highest and most expansive version of yourself. Whew, I hope this helps. Okay, let's move on to Leo. Oh, Leo. That Aries reading was something. Okay. Leo. We're going to go ahead and shake up this energy. We're going to shuffle these cards, Leo. What do we have for Leo? What love messages do we have for Leo? We're going to ask your angels, your archangels, your spirit guides, your loving ancestors. What messages, what love notes do we have for Leo? A few more shuffles, Leo. Okay. Ooh. Okay, Leo. Just really want to get this energy moving. We're going to do one more shuffle after this. Okay, one more. One more blow. Okay, here we go. All right, Leo, your first card is Nature Lover, at one with the natural world. Your second card, Broken Promises, Trust. And your third card, Heartbreak, the Alchemy of Grief. Okay, Leo, so let's see. What do we have coming forward for you? Leo, this is the card that represents your energy. The second card is the card that represents the energy of the person that you're in connection with. This third card is the energy that's coming forward. Okay. So Leo, Nature Lover, at one with the natural world. Leo, sorry, it's that time of day where the light's just kind of funky, so I'm trying to find the best angle. So Leo, I get the feeling that you've been taking time for yourself. Something has happened relatively recently, whether you find this video in June 2026, which is when I'm posting it, or at a later date. These readings are timeless, so whenever you find it, this video was meant to find you. Leo, okay, so I find myself slowing down, and I'm taking a deeper breath, and I'm taking my time as I begin to unpack this first card. I think you have been through a pretty significant set of events very recently. Leo, this is giving, I'm getting the energy of retreat. So your guides are suggesting that there's something that you've experienced. I mean, this could have been in the last couple of weeks. This could have been in the last couple of days. Leo, you've had a pretty big life change occur. And when this happens, you know, people have all kinds of different ways of handling a major life event. Leo, I get the feeling that you, instead of reacting, you've been really intentional about moving to a place of retreat. Retreat in the sense of like maybe taking a step back from your regular day-to-day life. You might have really actually booked a retreat for yourself. Maybe you rented a cabin somewhere, or maybe you're making plans to take some time in the next few weeks or couple of months to go somewhere, to be in isolation, not for the sake of being alone, but for having some time to yourself. Those are different things. It's not to be alone, but it's to have time for you. And what happens when we have time for ourselves is that we're able to process our experiences, our desires, our feelings in a much more clear way, in a much more coherent way, and maybe even in a gentler way. So Leo, there's been a big life event that's happened recently, and you might sort of still be in a state of shock, but you have your wits about you enough so that you are being really intentional about taking a beat, slowing down, maybe even putting the pause button on life for a minute, and giving back to yourself some time to process this experience. And central in this is you connecting with nature. This has come up a few times in this set of readings. At the time that I'm doing this reading, it's June 21st, 2026. So this is the summer, the solstice or equinox. I always get them confused. But it's that pivot, that point of pivot during the year where the earth, based on its look at me trying to explain things that I have no business trying to explain. But it's that point in the year where, based on the Earth's cycle and rotation, we have I think it's the longest day, right? This is the longest day of the year. And from here on out, the days will start to get a little bit shorter as we head into the second half of the year and head into seasons that come later in the year. And so what that means in some way is that when we pay attention to Earth, because Earth, it's not just this ball that we sit on, but it's a living thing. Gaia, Mother Earth, is living. And there are all these forms of life that exist within Gaia that are constantly speaking to us, that are, without us being conscious of it, giving us life, literally giving us life, from water to trees to air. These are elements of the natural world that we like to think of as being external to us, but they aren't. We are literally a part of Earth, and all of these things are keeping us alive, that are breathing life into us, that are nourishing us, and that are always in relationship to us, beyond the sort of physical, material ways that they're tending to our anatomy, our biology. These are sentient elements that have a loving relationship to us. And so, Leo, this time that you're taking for yourself is really also, maybe surprisingly, putting you back into connection with the energies surrounding you in your life. So maybe you're spending time in grass. Maybe you're spending time in your garden. Maybe you're spending time walking on the beach with your toes in the sand, smelling the salt water. Gaia is calling out to you, and there's a message here for you. And it's available to you, Leo. When you begin to take that time for yourself, this will become more and more clear, more and more apparent. This next card, Broken Promises, Trust. So this is the card representing the energy of the person you're in connection with. So yeah, Leo, this can be someone that you had a partnership with. This could also be a family member. But this is something that came to you as a shock, and this was pretty heartbreaking. I think that, as I'm unpacking the energy, I find my cadence, my rate of speech is pretty slowed down here in my reading with you compared to other readings. And I feel like a large part of that is that whatever this thing is that happened with this person was so startling to you. It was such a shock to the system. It came out of nowhere. That it really has caused you to pause and slow down. It's almost like your mind, your body, and your spirit. Oops. Oh my gosh, as I'm knocking this over. Your mind, your body, and your spirit are working to digest whatever this was. And so this person, Leo, I don't even know if they're still around. You might have created a pretty strong boundary that just said, no, I need time away from you. No, I'm taking a break from this. Like, I can't engage with you right now. I'm not gonna sit here and talk this through with you. I need to go take care of myself right now. So I think you even put a pause on your connection with this person. This could be somebody that continues to reach out to you, even though you've set that boundary. They may not get it, or they may not be respecting it. But Leo, you continue to hold that boundary, and continue to make plans for yourself and do things to tend to yourself. And you're holding it pretty firmly because you're really resonating with this energy of connection to nature. It's supporting you in being resilient. It's supporting you in maintaining your focus. And it's feeding you. It's speaking life over you. It's really pretty rapidly healing you and providing clarity and evidence and explanation for whatever happened here that you wouldn't be able to get from this person. So nature, earth, in connection with your spirit guides and your angels and your loving ancestors are really all rallied around you and are so in awe of how you are handling this moment with such grace and a tremendous amount of, it's like not determination, it's not even just focus, it's like, it's a devotion. You are so devoted to yourself that you're like, no, this is a hard boundary I'm creating, and I'm gonna nourish myself in connection with nature in these different ways. That requires so much love of self, so much gratitude. So this last card is the energy that's coming through. Yeah, Leo, so heartbreak, the alchemy of grief. Yeah, someone did some damage here, or at least tried to. Someone broke trust, but it didn't break your heart. Doesn't mean that you're not grieving. You know, what this person did for anyone else, or at the outside, is that the word? From the outside looking in, yeah, this looks like heartbreak, but Leo, your heart's not broken. You're resilient and you are whole. This person, whether they intended to or not, and they might have intended to break your heart, that's not what's happening. What's happening, oh my God, I can't talk. What's happening is that you are alchemizing this situation, this experience, and you are creating this really magical potion of manifestation that is feeding you. The word that comes to me are seeds. Like seeds as in like you plant seeds in the ground, and then those seeds grow, and then as they grow, they start to shoot through the surface, and you can begin to see their evidence, and then they bloom at some point. And then after the point that they bloom, right, or they begin to take hold, you have your harvest season, which coincides with what we were saying about the summer. Is it I don't remember if it's the equinox or the solstice. I'm all twisted and turned around. But we're heading into that second half of the year. And what happens in the second half of the year is harvest. So, Leo, this experience has not broken your heart. This experience has planted seeds that continue to be, fertilized, helped along by the natural world and the spiritual world. It's this rich, beautiful vortex dimension, portal that you're creating for yourself, where you're transmuting, alchemizing, transforming what would have otherwise been heartbreak into a tremendous fuel and energy source for love. And what will come out of that is a beautiful harvest. Leo, by this we mean there are rewards, there are blessings, there are resources, there are relationships, there's more love, there are more good times, there's more, all the beautiful things that are coming your way. But it's being expedited, it's being like condensed, it's being pressurized through this experience, which is only going to bring about all of those positive benefits in a quicker way, in a much more like simpler way. These things will continue to unfold for you in ways that will surprise you, that will come with so much ease, and they'll just start to appear because you really have been devoted to finding love in all of this, and above all else, love for yourself and love for the life that you've been gifted with. that you have called, you have called into your experience this life that you're living. I hope that makes sense. I feel like we got a little woo-woo with yours, Leo, but truly you're doing some amazing, amazing things here. And keep your head up, keep your heart warm and comforted, do kind things for yourself. Make today a little bit brighter in some ways for you. And keep moving forward. The future is bright. Okay, I hope this helps. Okay, we're going to move on to Sag. Okay, Sag. We've had a lot of energy come through in these fire sign readings. Let's see what you got going on, Sag. What's the energy for Sag? Please bring us the love message for Sag. We're asking for the angels, the archangels, spirit guides, loving ancestors. Please bring forward a message for Sag. Okay, Sag, we're going to do 2 more shuffles. 1, what is the love message for Sag? Love message for Sag. And 2, love message. Spirit guides, please share love message for Sag. Okay. Okay, Sag, your first card, material love, obsession. Your second card, unrequited love, rejection. Okay, Sag. Your third card, seduction, Queen Maeve's enchantment. Fire signs. There's a lot happening. Okay, Sag, let's get into it. This first card is going to represent your energy. The second card is the energy of the person you're in connection with. And the third card is the energy that's coming in. We're going to start with your card. Material love, obsession. Sag, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm feeling that. Sag, are you having a hot girl summer? Sag, at the time that we're making this video, this is June 2026, and we've pulled this card at least once or twice for other signs during this set of readings. But each of these readings are intuitive and timeless. So when it finds you, it's meant to find you, and it's specific. Each meaning is specific to you. And so this particular card is giving me like, fly girl, fly boy, like you are feeling yourself. You're having like a hot girl summer, like you're having fun, Sag. Sag, you known for loving adventure. You might be doing some traveling, spending some coins on yourself at this point in time. You're celebrating life. Sag, this is the energy of fun, like straight up fun. This is fun and joy in the purest sense. And let me clarify that. You are, it's not a focus. You are, like your vibration at this point in time is just really almost unilaterally aligned with fun. And not in a bad way. Like, I'm somebody who has been told I need to have more fun. So listen, more power to you, Sag. But this is like you going out. This is you like hanging out with the friends. Maybe you're going to dinners. Maybe you're going to go to lunch. Maybe you're going to brunches. Maybe you're taking trips. Maybe you're taking flights. Maybe you're on cruises. Maybe you're going, to concerts. Maybe you're going to festivals. This could be you doing some shopping sprees. Like, Sag, this is a season where, for reasons that only you know, you have called in really explicitly a desire for the utmost fun, like fun on the grandest scale possible. You are wanting to completely transform your life to just like I'm picturing Care Bears. Like for those of us 80s, 90s babies, the Care Bear stare, like little Care Bears, are their bellies would like, or each have their own unique like signature element or theme, and like they'd do the Care Bears, is a Care Bear care or Care Bear stare, and their little bellies would like shoot out with each of their like unique energy forces. Sag, your energy force is fun. I probably could have thought of a much more succinct analogy, but that's what Spirit gave me, is like this Care Bear shock of energy, supercharged. Like you're just pumped. I feel like you get what I'm trying to say. Okay, on to the next card, Sag. Unrequited love, rejection. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is someone that you've met recently, and you've been having so much fun. You met this person, they seem really cool, they're beautiful, interesting. Maybe you even receive sort of that energy of like lighthearted playfulness. That's the word, playfulness, that this person embodies. And maybe you didn't realize, Sag, that this person had feelings for you. And so this is someone that you've met pretty recently who has a very playful heart, but has a genuine, not just attraction for you, but desire to pursue something more than a casual interaction with you, or something more than like a friendly exchange with you. And so Sag, this feels like whoever this person is, either they expressed to you that they were interested in something a bit more substantial, or they slipped up and kind of gave off the vibe, or might have said something to someone else that got back to you that suggested that they might want more from you. And Sag, you know, you had to break it to this person that you're just not in that place right now where you're wanting to have a relationship or something serious. And it's in no way a reflection on this person. It's has everything to do with what your priorities are right now, what your, you know, main desires are. I also think, Sag, had you met this person at a different point in time, that might have gone differently. Like you might not have been so quick to say to this person, as you've said to anyone that you've really crossed paths with recently, you've been like, you know, hey, I think you're super cool. Like it'd be great to like hang out, but I'm just not looking for something. If you met this person at an earlier point in time, or at a later point in time, one, you wouldn't have met them with that type of response. But two, you would have taken some pause, or, I mean, I don't even believe that you would have taken a pause. That's not what I'm feeling. It's more like this person would have registered differently for you. Like when you met them, and especially when you started to get to know them and you spoke to them and spent some time with them, you would have calibrated to this person's energy, to recognize that actually this is someone who's pretty meaningfully aligned with you. This person actually isn't kind of an everyday person that you meet like out in the world. Like this is actually someone who's pretty special in certain ways. And the other word that comes to me is this person has a tender soul. They have a real, like a sweetness about them. Earlier I used the word playful. Yeah, like this is a sweet, kind, good soul. This is a sweet person. Not like nice. I was having a conversation with a friend about the word nice. Nice is performative. To be a good person, a kind person, is something entirely different. This is a kind person. This is the kind of person that has compassion and care, that has emotional availability and regulation and intelligence. They have a spiritual life. They are an independent, autonomous person in the world. They are whole. They are intelligent. They have meaningful relationships. They have passions and commitments. This is a pretty significant person just by virtue of the ways that they are really fully self-expressed and fully present in their life. So had you met this person at a time other than this particular season that you're in, you would have seen all of this in them. And Sag, it could be the case that you, now that you have sort of, you know, admitted to them, like, listen, I'm just not looking for that right now. I think in hindsight, you're beginning to see some of the evidence that this really is a special person. I don't get the sense that you're doubting yourself, but it's like that feeling of kind of looking back, like taking that second or even third glance, like after you walk past somebody on the street and you turn back to look at them, like, wait, who was that I just saw? Or like, wait, like, let me take another look. Like, that's the vibe that I'm getting from you. And so the energy that's coming in, yeah, this track, Sag, seduction, Queen Maeve's enchantment. I think part of your fun has been, like, you know, to explore all aspects of joy and pleasure, including, you know, flirtatious, you know, intimate connections, and whatever feels, you know, whatever impulse strikes you as fun and explorative and adventurous and, you know, unattached and not obligated to formality. This is the energy that you've been entertaining, let's say that. I'm also going to say that this energy here, this seductive energy, funny enough, I think that you feel somewhat seducted by this person's energy. So even though you turn this person down, Sag, you shut them down, I don't even think that you guys are necessarily talking right now. Maybe you've had a couple of text exchanges, but I feel like you have kind of kept a distance, knowing that this person may want more from you. And so whether it's because, you know, you don't have the same kind of access to this person, that there's that, like, desire that emerges because you don't have it. I don't feel like that's all of what it is. It could be a little bit of it, but I think that you have gradually kind of in your quiet moments been thinking about this person, been reflecting on them, and you find yourself perhaps more attracted to them than you realized. Or maybe you guys have mutual friends. My dog's growling in the background if you hear. My dog is emphasizing what I'm saying. Maybe y'all have mutual friends and you're kind of learning through the grapevine via their friends or yours, like, more about this person. And the more you learn, you're like, oh damn, like, she's like that too, or he's like that too, or like, you know, I didn't know that about them, or like, oh wow, like, I had no idea. Like, the more, it's a combination of the more distance that you have from this person, in addition to the more that you learn about them from afar. Maybe you're low-key, like, stalking them on social media, or just checking them out. You find yourself more attracted to them. And so there's this unusual seduction that's happening. They're not initiating it. They're not, they're not doing anything per se. But you meeting them activated a sort of shift in this season that you're having. And the energy's playing out in a sense that like the plans that you had for fun and exploration and non-attachment and adventure, all these things are maybe starting to kind of peter out because your interest for this person is growing, or your curiosity about them is growing. And as that energy begins to play out and transmute, it might be the case that like you become less and less interested in playing, right? In like having fun in the ways that you had previously planned for this season. So it could again signal the sort of transitioning of seasons for you, the transitioning of a chapter that really became activated when you met this person who is someone pretty special, Sag. All right, I hope this helps.